Hey, we're
All
doing it.
right, we're doing it. We're doing it. So, who are you? Who are you? Start
Oh,
there.
hey. I'm Jaybird. Um, who am I? I'm like a silly, weird queerdo. Um, very nerdy. I love like thinking about stuff and analyzing things in the world and people. Um, And I'm a social worker and I'm a poet and I'm a performance artist. I do like drag and burlesque and storytelling. And I love the ocean and the water.
Yes.
Yeah.
I also love the
Who
ocean
are
and the
you?
water.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm Callie McKenzie. I've been trying on this phrase of I'm a social change worker. Um, And I think that just embodies all of the things that I am and want to be, I guess, a musician, I'm a multidisciplinary artist, I'm a trained conflict mediator, I have my master's degree in nonprofit management and human services, and, I like don't go camping without like a spreadsheet, like I'm very like I'm very like I need a list for everything, and I'm a Taurus, and I'm a mama. I got two babies. I say babies, they're like grown humans, but yeah, I show up in like all these different ways as a social change worker, trying to make the world a little bit better. And I think that's part of
Mhm.
why I'm here and why we're here.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
What are we doing here? Why are you here?
Yeah. So, I mean, we've been talking for like months at this point about, starting. The word podcast still feels weird to me, and maybe I'll feel comfortable about it later, but like starting a podcast, an opportunity for people to listen to us having intricate conversations about like all of the nuances around conflict and abolition and love and the way that we are hoping the world could be if we all had the capacity to show up in the way that we want to. Um, yeah, and
Yeah.
so I feel like that's kind of where we're at right now. That's why I'm here. Why are you
Yeah.
here?
Um, yeah, I'm thinking about all these random times we'd run into each other at like a craft fair or a community event, and um, we would somehow get into these like brief, deep conversations about all these topics, and all of a sudden we're having some deep, nuanced conversation about abolition and what happens in community when harm happens, and being like, I don't have the answers, but I want to keep talking about this. And then somehow, like, I think the last time that happened, maybe the beginning of this year, we were like, let's actually talk more about this. And
Yeah.
um, yeah, and I've said this to you, but I just feel so lit up when we have these conversations. It feels like it feels like there's like space to give voice to some of the stuff that's really difficult and challenging and about being in relationships or in being in community and being in this world. And um I just personally, I'll say, like, I don't really have that space, and I think now I do, and I think we've made that together. And I'm just like grateful to get to see how this evolves, and share this with whoever wants to receive this.
Yeah. 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 I think we were bowling. I think we were at the bowling alley and we actually scheduled a time finally to talk. And it is like
Yeah.
sometimes I say like I selfishly create the spaces that like I want and I need. And people are like, it's so great. I'm like, thanks. I just did it for me. And for everyone else, it ripples out, you know. Um, but yeah, like as someone who, you know, I call myself an abolitionist or like try to show up in abolitionist values. And so many times it's like, what does that mean?
Mhm.
And in different situations, and I teach workshops, and the question always comes up is like, you know, what happens if someone doesn't want to hold themselves accountable? And it's like, I don't know. This is why we need to have the conversations. And like,
Mhm.
it's a choose your own adventure book every time. And it's important to have these dialogues, at least I think so, with other people who share the values of working through the hard stuff, you
Mhm.
know, because there's some folks who can just be like, well, they were a jerk, F them. And I'm like, yes. And, I'm going to go through my four chairs, and I'm going to like sit in anger for a second, but like, what does the world look like that I want? And,
Mhm.
you know, and without getting into like everything, because I'm sure we'll tackle all these things and like
I
have
know
these
I'm already
conversations
like,
along the way. But like as our like little teaser, I guess, of what is to come, it's like I know that I have found myself as someone who wants to, really show up in from a place of transformative justice. Also remaining in spaces, both professional and personal, that I shouldn't for way longer because I'm like trying to be so empathetic towards another person that I'm not actually, keeping myself in a safer space. And so I think that these are the nuances of like at what point are the barriers, like walls, boundaries, like how does that show up in transformative justice? How do we keep our communities strong enough so that like I know that even if I'm not in a relationship with someone, that I know that they're still cared for in our community. And so, yeah, I'm like really excited to just like have these deeper conversations about, real things that are happening and um in my life. And I don't know, maybe I'm saying this out loud for the first time, like maybe like other people's lives, like maybe like folks are like, what should I do? And I'm like,
Mhm.
not saying like advice column style, but like I feel like it is hard sometimes if you're trying to show up in a certain way and you don't have people to like brainstorm with about
Yeah.
the best way to show up in the values.
Yeah. Yes. Yes. I'm thinking of lots of conversations with my therapist that I've had being like, help me with this. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. So I mean, I am excited, to just like dig into more of those topics
Mhm.
and talk more about, the nuances and what it means and how it's all connected. Can I read this blurb that we wrote about
Please do.
circulating love? Um,
Yes.
So circulating love, which is what like we're call I don't know, did we say that yet? What we're
I
calling
don't think we
our
did.
podcast. And circulating love delivers nutrients and oxygen to empower us to live our lives guided by a love ethic rooted in values of abolition and transformative justice. Through open and honest dialogue, we talk about how to hold ourselves and each other and how to see our community as a living, breathing organism that needs and deserves care.
Mm.
I haven't read that. I don't think you read that. They like that.
Me too.
Uh,
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
yeah,
it's been beautiful to vision this together and finally be starting this.
yeah. Anything else you want to add to our little teaser? I keep calling it a teaser because I don't know what else to say.
Yeah.
Like it's fun,
Um
like something's coming.
yeah, I was thinking as you were sharing just about abolition and what does that look like in practice, and I was just thinking about that nuance of kind of like you said, like working within what exists now while also holding this vision of a future and working towards that while working within what exists. And yeah, there's just so much nuance in that, which is why I think it's so, at least for me, so helpful to talk through these different, like more specific, intricate examples, which I think is some of what we'll do, as well as like talking about larger topics like anger, for example, which is something we talked about last time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really appreciate you saying that, because it is like it's challenging in moments sometimes to say, like, well, then what do I do if the only way that I can, that I know of to stay safe right now is police, or, but what does that mean? And yeah, so like trying
Mhm.
to um imagine something different and build something different and use something different, which of course takes a lot of time and
Mhm.
energy and resource
Mhm.
that, like, I don't know, sometimes I feel like I don't have, you
Mhm.
know?
Mhm.
So yeah. Yeah, I'm looking forward to these conversations.
Me too. Yes. Yes. Please join us. Circulating Love. We'll have it on YouTube, I think is where we've
Yeah,
decided. Yes.
yeah. YouTube, and yeah, it'll be amazing. So please join us.